I believe the citizens of Pinellas County have a right to know what's going on in this highly unpublicized sheriff's election that's about to happen. First of all, you've got three candidates in this race. Two of them are on the Democratic ticket and now require a primary in order to determine who will be running against Bob Galtieri. The other would have been Republican candidate was erased several months ago in some financial moves that were made behind the scenes by certain members of the Sheriff's Department whose names I won't mention, nor will I disclose that candidate. With the early elimination of any Republican opponent, Bob might have assumed that he would have a slide-in victory in November against an independent James McLynas, who took home 22% of the vote in the 2016 election. However, James McLynas decided to run this time on the Democratic ticket, and with many of the issues that have recently come to light and the problems that have arisen throughout the country, some of James McLynas's points have become essential and valid. I am not a Democrat. However, I have found in talking to people in the community, many Republicans are going to be voting for James McLynas. He is not for radical change, nor is he for defunding the police. However, he is for accountability, and I believe we are all asking for that at this time. So now let's talk about the last opponent, Santana, who in my opinion was basically thrown on the ticket at the last minute to keep James McLynas, the other Democratic possibility, out of the actual election because he does present an actual threat. James McLynas has supporters on both sides of the fence. This is presenting a big problem for Bob Galtieri, who doesn't have a lot of support from the Republicans, much less the Democrats at this time. Santana, the new candidate, presents a troubled financial past, which in my opinion probably isn't exactly what we need right now, given that our finances have essentially been driven into the ground and misappropriated over the last 10 years under Galtieri's rule. It's my opinion that this candidate is simply meant to throw things off and to present an issue with James McLynas being in the finals. In fact, I wonder if the votes will even be counted correctly. It's my opinion that this whole thing has been attempted to be rigged, and we need to be careful and we need to get out and vote. I saw a post just the other day where the Sheriff's Department stated that even the mayors have no control over the sheriff, and his own quote was, "The best thing about being the sheriff is having to make all the decisions, and the worst thing about being the sheriff is having to make all the decisions." I encourage you to consider this quote when you go to vote this November, and if you are a Democrat and you're able to vote in the primary, I encourage you please to look at the two candidates that have been presented on this ticket and make the best possible choice that you can. Please get out and vote and give us a good opponent to Bob Galtieri. Whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, James McLynas has a plan for our county that will help address many of the issues and all of the issues that have gone ignored, as well as give you the accountability programs that you want for your people in this community, and they will give the Sheriff's Department better options in ways to deal with the homeless and the other crises that we face, as they really have not been given the resources by the current administration that they need to handle these situations effectively. We would like to see our taxpayer dollars better spent. The first thing James McLynas plans to do is to take the $2 million airplane that was purchased by Bob Galtieri and put it up for auction on eBay for charity for the homeless. We have the resources that we need in this county to deal with the issues at hand. We just don't have the right person. interested in dealing with them. Please, let's change that. These people need your help. It's up to you to get out and vote.